Looking forward to that. We are expecting to be joined by Amy Audibert shortly and talk a little Game 6 with Amy as Miami Heat will be back in action tonight. You guys can watch Amy on Bally Sports Sun on the post game and on the Bally Sports app. You'll get all your local post game coverage. And if you guys are listening, you guys can hear Amy on the call with Jason Jackson and all the action from the Kaseya Center tonight. Tommy Tig will get you going with the pregame show, and Alejandro Solana gets preheat going at 6:15 for tonight's game. So very excited about that. It should be a fun atmosphere tonight. Quentin Grimes out here calling himself the Jimmy Stopper.
Stop. He didn't say
I
anything.
think he's saying that,
He
dude.
did not say that.
The
Stop.
media is gassing him up.
No,
you know?
no,
The
you're
media's got to be
you're
getting it from somewhere.
gaslighting
He
right
said
now.
it.
They got to be getting this from somewhere. You don't think that he's off the record just chirping to people in the media saying,
Quentin Grimes doesn't even talk to his own mother.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It seems like he's feeling very froggy right now.
Nobody's feeling froggy, Mr. Tobin.
I don't know. I think he is. I think he's feeling all types of ways about, I got Jimmy on that possession. I think I'm the Jimmy Stopper. I think he probably actually wasn't there a mic'd up that said, Don, I don't know. Didn't you see that clip of him walking back and telling Josh Hart? See, that's how you do it.
I watched it this morning.
I think that's what he said. So listen, tread lightly. You know, maybe he's got something. But let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. Amy Audibert joining us here on the show. You guys can listen to Amy, of course, on the call tonight with Jason Jackson from the Kaseya Center and WQAM. Our coverage gets going at 6:15, and you, of course, can watch on Bally Sports Sun and the Bally Sports app all your post-game coverage. Amy, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, you know, like everyone else, I'm just like probably feeling a little anxious. Like, please, can we just finish this tonight? Yes. It would be great. But nothing's been easy for this team this season. So why should this?
Amy, from a game 5 perspective, Jimmy had his lowest scoring output. What did you make of Jimmy's game? Like, he filled up the box score basically everywhere, did a good job defensively, but mindset, what the Knicks were doing, just what did you make of his game 5?
Well, we had a good chuckle because halfway through the fourth quarter on the radio call, we were like, yeah, Jimmy's not as loud. And then you look down, he's basically got a triple double. Like, I think that we saw his superhuman numbers in that first round, right? And like, that's, I guess, the expectation. But the thing with Jimmy, and I think we all know this, is that, and what makes him, in my opinion, a great player is that he has the ability to say, I can take anyone to the lane. I can get to the free throw line. I can generate any kind of basket, but he's got no problem saying, hey, I'm going to use my teammates this time. And I think that he did that with the assist number. It'll be interesting tonight if the game's tight at that point in time in the game, because I think everyone wants Jimmy just to go. Like, everyone's like, it's go time. He hit a mid-range jumper as that game got really tight. And I was kind of like, all right, let's go, you know, thinking that I wanted him to take every single shot every time he touched the ball. But like I said, I think that's one of the things that makes him one of the best players that we've seen, at least in the last month or so, is that he's not scared to give it up. So it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. I wouldn't mind a 56-point game tonight, but I just don't know if that's like going to be the thing. So we'll see.
Well, and is there something behind that cliche about, you know, role players usually have an easier time stepping up at home? Because, you know, one of the common denominators in the 2 losses in New York was the 3-point shooting was not really on point in either of those. So what's it going to take to get some of that going tonight?
Yeah, I think that was everyone. That wasn't just the role players, right? Yeah. So I think no one hit threes, and it was kind of like there was definitely some points in that game where it felt more like the regular season team. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's, hey, we're having trouble making a 3, but we're still finding a way to stay in the game, right? One of the things that makes this team so unique, and I think, you know, really shocking to anyone outside of the circle down here with their success, is that they're really gnarly. Like, their role players have had to start games. Their role players don't think that they're just role players. These are a bunch of guys that all feel like they can go contribute and to a big win, to big wins. They've had to. You look at guys like Caleb, like Max, Gabe now he's a starting point guard in the NBA. You know what I mean? At this point in the season, these guys don't believe that they're role players in terms of they're not important. Again, we see Duncan now get off in the playoffs. We know Max can get hot. Caleb can hit. So, I mean, Kevin Love did not shoot the ball well. I mean, the stats don't lie, but he's got to keep taking those shots because he has the experience to get in there and take them. So for me, I think one of the most exciting things, and it's not always easy to prepare, I'm sure Brandon can agree, is that you just really don't know who it's going to be. You know, it's got to be certain guys, right? Jimmy, Bam, they've got to have their imprints on the game. Kyle has to be in there and just orchestrate everything, which he's been doing. But in terms of shot making, it can come from a lot of different guys. So it's always kind of exciting. You just need maybe one or two to do something a little bit more above average. But there's certainly, you could put them all in the hat and draw out a name, and it wouldn't be surprising, would it? Unless Bam decides to start hitting threes or Cody wants to step
I do like that he's taking a couple of them. I actually am enjoying this. I want them to go down.
When he like at the final, when the game was kind of over anyways, but he hit the ball and he got 2 feet down, and we were like, if that went in, it would have been a moment.
Jimmy mentioned after the game about, them fouling too much. I know a lot of Heat fans are kind of like side-eyeing because Scott Foster's on the game tonight, but from a perspective of just the way that they did foul a lot, Amy, and some of them wasn't even on ball. Like, what did you make, I guess, of that being the issue last game? And how did they clean that up? Is that something that you think is an easy fix for Miami?
Yeah, I mean, no, because I think nobody is surprised with the physicality of the series. Like, it's almost, I don't know, it sounds so like terrible to say, it's almost exhausting watching. You're just like, ouch, just watching and knowing that we're going to do it for another 2 hours tonight. So get ready for that. But certainly you don't want to give New York 40 free throws. I don't care who it is or what their percentage is. You don't want a team to get to the free throw line 40 times. Miami is an undersized team, especially inside in this matchup with Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. So you have to play lanes. You have to beat players to the position. It's just the reality of how you have to win. And staying in front of Jalen Brunson, probably one of the tougher assignments right now in the postseason for any team. But you've got guys like Caleb and Gabe who are trying to do it 94 feet the entire game. So it's absolutely incredible. But you're right. I mean, you've got to make sure that you're proactive, you're beating guys to the position, and hope that for me, I think if I want to go on record and say it, I think the officials have the hardest job because, sometimes we also, like the fans, get frustrated. They have the hardest job in the gym, and it's getting tougher. I mean, to be an official in the NBA is absolutely getting tougher. But the only thing we ever ask for is consistency, which I thought in the first half yesterday was pretty consistent. And was it yesterday? No, it's Friday.
2 nights
Wednesday.
ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago.
I thought the first half was consistent in that it was physical, but they were letting a lot go. And then the second half, I think you certainly got to keep them off the free throw line 40 times.
Now, what about the Knicks defensively tonight? Because there's a lot of chatter out of New York about Quentin Grimes being the Butler stopper.
I heard you guys are chirping over there.
Keep going, guys, please.
They're chirping over there. So what about that matchup? And what do the Knicks? What do they need to try to do against Butler defensively? Because I'm sure he's going to be even more aggressive and assertive tonight.
Yeah, I think with Jimmy, you just try. And it's interesting. The whole Quentin thing, I think, really took it to a different level when there was a play where it looked like he hurt his knee, actually. It looked like his knee kind of gave in a little bit. And then he got the stop, but that was one of those where it's like shoulder was right in. Physical game, no call, fine. But that could have very easily went the other way, I thought. So for the Knicks, I mean, I think I don't know if you go in and say with Jimmy, like, oh, we're going to stop him. I mean, they'll throw doubles at him. They'll try to change it up. I think most teams, a guy like that, and we can say it about other guys in this league, is about rhythm. So throwing different matchups, different looks, try to keep them on their heels a little bit is always the strategy. But again, Jimmy's a guy that's not scared to make the extra pass. So, I mean, I think they'll probably go to the Quentin matchup a little bit, maybe Josh Hart. But for me, that's when us sickos are like, come on, like, keep talking, please. And I don't think Jimmy sits on his phone and really cares too much about what Twitter says. But sometimes I'm like, hey, Jimmy, just so you know. No, I want to say that.
I do like that. Yes, I like that the New York media was telling that to Bam today. I was like, yes, good. Go in the locker room and tell them that they're saying that.
And can I just say, calling Bam Adebayo the dirtiest player in the league is
what is that?
The best, funniest narrative I've seen this entire season. Bam's like an undersized, like, hustler, He's a lot of things, but he is definitely not a dirty basketball player. Stop it.
I have heard that, like I know a lot of fan bases complain about the way that he screens, but that they're taking it to a level like they think he's actively out there hurting people. And
yeah,
I'm
like that's
what
it.
what are we doing after these games? Like, did you guys win that game? Why are you making montages of Bam?
I saw that and I was like, man, and Bam, like one of them, he was like, is a rebounding foul. Like he didn't go under anyone's feet. He's in the paint because he's trying to rebound like everybody else. Like, I don't know, but let your game do the talking, and that's got to be what it is. I respect the passion for sure.
Talking to Amy Audibert here on the show. You guys can hear Amy tonight with Jason Jackson on 560 WQM. You also can watch her on the post-game coverage, Bally Sports Sun and Bally Sports app tonight if you guys want the local post-game coverage. Game 6 tonight, Heat and Knicks. Amy, before we get you out of here, what are your impressions of Kyle Lowry and what he's brought to the table just this entire playoffs? Like, he just looks so much more comfortable. He's been fantastic off the bench, but the element he's brought to this team from that standpoint.
You might be asking the wrong person because, coming from the Toronto area, I've watched Kyle for years in the postseason, hit big shots, big moments, direct plays. By the way, today's the 4-year anniversary of the Kawhi shot. Just want to throw that out there for the Philly people.
Show that to Jimmy too. Yeah, show him that. Vlad, get that to Jimmy.
Yeah, but for me, I mean, this is who Kyle is to me. This is 17 seasons, and a lot of them in these high pressure situations. If it was not for a LeBron James in Cleveland, Toronto would have probably got deeper in many playoff runs. That's one of the, if not the greatest player of all time. So I'm so happy for Kyle. He looks great. A couple games ago, he took a 3 late and it looked like he was like 18 years old. Like he had so much lift and bend and he looked great. So all that time he had to take off is coming into fruition right now to take care of his body because of how many minutes he had to play at the beginning of the league. It's all kind of a progression, right? Like his season is like everything's built to now. And I just think he's an incredible leader. And I think you see that late game situations, the end of the third quarter on Wednesday night when Caleb hit a big 3. You go back and watch, it was a 1 flat, so 4 flat. And Kyle literally pointed the entire thing out. Like he got the shot. He was pointing guys, telling them where to go. That doesn't show up on a box score. And in these nip and tuck games, that's probably one of the most important things is like getting your team in the position to at least get a really good shot. And so, yeah, I mean, I just can't say enough about that execution and toughness. And I mean, we can talk about the numbers and the stats, but I think just having that floor general with that amount of experience out there is just, it's incredible.
Amy, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have fun tonight.
Can't wait. Amy Audibert, you, of course, again, can hear her with Jason Jackson tonight on the call here on 560 WQAM and the coverage on the TV side of things. You guys can watch Bally Sports Sun tonight and Bally Sports app. That's where you guys can watch your post game. We will play a little "You Dead to Me" to wrap things up after this.